Acrylic for beginners. Super easy hack. Get a clear divider and a practice sheet like this. You're gonna need monomer, acrylic powder, and a dappen dish and a nail brush. Slide the practice sheet into the divider like so, and you're ready to start. Okay, so pour the liquid into the dappen dish. I highly recommend this one because it has the metal and it helps clean the stuck on acrylic off the brush. I've linked it at the bottom of this video. After saturating your brush, you want to go ahead and dip your brush into the powder at a 45-degree angle. Wait till the bead gets glossy and then put it down. Once the bead is on the practice sheet, you want to fold it in. Don't start pulling or patting, it's not ready yet. Once you see that it starts to hold its shape a little bit, that's when you want to go in and you want to start patting it downward, making sure you wipe your brush a lot. If you notice the acrylic starts getting stuck to your brush, dip it in the monomer again, wipe it, and then proceed with the same steps. And I want to note that all acrylics are different, so make sure you stick with one that you want to practice with and learn that one really well. So I'm using the middle of my brush and the sides of my brush to pat it and to shape it the way that I want to. And I'm going to use the end of the brush to square it off to get it as close to the shape as possible. I'm going to go back into my powder, wait till it gets glossy, and I'm going to apply it where the apex would be. But we're not worrying about the apex right now. We're just worrying about learning how to use the liquid and the powder together and learning how to not get the brush clumpy and full of acrylic and learning how to control the bead. See how beautifully it's just blending in? The acrylic is not getting stuck to my brush. I'm able to mold it with the sides of my brush and pat it down with the middle of my brush, and I'm using the tip of the brush to make sure that the shape is how I want it to be by taking off the excess acrylic. Now let's work on the cuticle bead. Get a small bead and go ahead and put it on the top after it gets glossy. And you'll see that I use the tip of my brush to control around the cuticle area. And I highly recommend this when you're beginning with acrylic so you can practice instead of practicing on somebody and getting so much product on them that they get contact dermatitis. It's easy, it's cost effective, and you can use it as many times as you want. If you need a practice sheet like this, stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll go ahead and give you more information on where you can get one. Now let's try a French nail. It's almost the same process. You wait till the bead gets glossy, but pick up a smaller bead. This is where you really learn control because you're gonna be shaping the French part. Personally, I like the look of acrylic, pink and whites better than I do the Frenchies with gel polish. A lot of times the gel polish is too thick and it's tacky. It gets lumpy and it's just not aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. Sculpting a pink and white is my preference. But let me know if you want to see that tutorial as well. But back to what we're doing right now. Once the bead is dry enough, you want to mold that Frenchie. Make sure you ask your client how deep you want it to be and practice different variations of the French line or smile line as some people call it. When you're working on somebody, you can actually file it to get it super crisp. But again, learning how to control the bead and acrylic properly, you'll cut down your time by a lot. And here I'm doing the same thing as before. I'm pushing the cuticle bead back to the cuticle area and I'm using the sides of my brush to mold it and blend it in, patting it downward with the middle of my brush, and then going around the cuticle to make sure that I don't have anything on the skin. And once I have it to the shape I like, I'm gonna go in with a different color. Let me know in the comments if you prefer using gel polish to create your Frenchies or if you wanna learn how to use acrylic to create the French look. It's always a classic and it's always popular. Now I'm gonna go in with this beautiful yellow. The camera's not doing it any justice. Same thing, make sure that it's glossy before you go ahead and place it down. Kind of want it to be a little bit drier than usual. Wipe your brush. Again, I love that dappen dish because the metal separates the pigment so it doesn't get the liquid super cloudy and the yellow stays yellow and the pink stays pink. I like to apply the color at the tip of the nail and work my way up, make sure I get all the colors in the side walls to create a beautiful crisp side wall. Again, the whole point is to minimize my overall time, and this will minimize filing a lot if I can make sure that I do the sidewalls good. Now let's try one more technique, the ombre. I place the bead down. I want this to be more liquidy. Yellow is kind of a hard color to blend with, and I always recommend practicing with colors like black, yellow, and white just because they're difficult and other colors will be easier to work with. So I blend it down, leaving it kind of opaque, not bringing it all the way down to the nail to help with my next step. I'm gonna pick up the yellow and I'm going to again start at the tip with the yellow and then blend it upwards in an upwards motion, and I'm going to blend. I'm not trying to have any harsh lines or any hard lines. So blend, blend, blend upward, make sure it's super liquidy. It makes it so much easier to blend the colors. Using the upward motion and using the sides of my brush and when I add my next pink bead, I blend it down even more, and it's just going to create that smooth ombre effect that everybody's looking for. Again, with the cuticle bead, believe it or not, it does come all the way down and even help that blend more. Now, if I was working on a client, I would also add clear to protect the blend. With this practice sheet, I also included some bead circles at the bottom. I noticed this helps when working with different acrylics, so that way you can see, like before you start, how big of a bead to pick up. Comment viral nail tech below this video and I'll send you the download link so that you can print it out and you can make your own practice sheet so that you can get your liquid to powder ratio down pat. Also, don't forget the link to the dappen dish is at the bottom of this video. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.